Starbucks has one customer pretty heated, and not over its coffee, but its cups, and specifically the new holiday versions that are simply red there, kind of a minimalist look. Starbucks deciding this year to drop the reindeer and the ornaments from these cups, and a former pastor and self-proclaimed social media personality had this to say about it.
Did you know that Starbucks didn't want to do nothing about Star Wars or the holiday special? And they come out with these new cups that didn't even say nothing about the FOrce Awakens. In fact, if you think about it, they're not even allowed to mention Star Wars to any of their customers. Now, another thing that's really cool is I went up there and I got me a cup of coffee. And they said, "What's your name, bud?" And I said, "My name is Star Wars." And I had them write it on that cup. That's right, I did. So when they asked me, they said, your name is Star Wars? I said, yes, and I got them to cross-promote with Star Wars The FOrce Awakens, and I even brought my own bucket. But just...
Joining me now is Merry Christmas, or social media evangelist Josh. And also we have Pete Dominic. He's a political talk show host for Sirius XM Radio. Okay, so we see that clip that you have done, Joshua, in front of the Starbucks. Explain in full, though, why this year's red cup is making you so angry.
Well, first of all, it's not just a red cup. It's a blue cup. Now, you need to get your facts straight. Now, CNN has been totally driving this red cup thing down to the ground. Now, I just want to tell you, there's Star Wars stuff everywhere, and our society loves some Star Wars. They love to be with Star Wars. Now, think about it for a second. Now, you think about South Park, and they only had Star Wars parody one time, and that was when Chef died and come back. He was going crazy. Now, due to the fact that there's cities running around like South Park that only does one or two parodies of that, so all I'm saying, as a big society that likes Star Wars, we have the ability to put Star Wars on everything. We need it on cups for the FOrce Awakens, because Starbucks and Star Wars makes sense, because 76% of people have purchased tickets for this Star Wars movie. Now, I'm telling you, J.J. Abrams is about to knock it out of the park, and I'm so tired of it that nobody's going to give it the attention that it really, truly deserves. Now, essentially, they're trying to make it the best movie in the world.
Okay, so Joshua, I don't know if you can see Pete, but his eyebrows have been going up and down.
Pete.
So
he got tickets
weigh
either.
in here, Pete.
Well, listen, first of all, it's always fun to listen to someone who's calls himself a Christ follower tout the benefits of capitalism. But, you know, this guy is what I call an entrepreneurial bigot, Brianna. I mean, he's known before this. He's known for wanting to take up arms against gay people. He's known for trying to debunk evolution. He makes some money on the side as a Chaz Bono impersonator, which is ironic on its own. But the idea that he's going to try to get people at Starbucks to say Merry Christmas, he's only going to get people to go to Starbucks more and buy more coffee. Starbucks isn't going to change their policy, a policy that does not change. They've never had anything on their cups that he's saying they're taking up. But if he were really a great Christian, he'd go into Starbucks, and there's a lot of homeless people here in New York that use Starbucks for a bathroom, a shower. So maybe what he should do to get the same exact outcome is maybe buy a pastry or sandwich for a homeless person and then wish them a Merry Christmas, and he gets the benefits of that with all that hatred and bigotry and cynical self-promotion. That's all this is, and I'm here to be the needle to pop that balloon.
Can you hear that, Joshua? Can you respond to that?
He said something about boners. Unfortunately, I don't know what he's talking about.
That's a shame.
I don't know nothing about no boners.
Okay, it's not okay. So, well, then let me tell you. Okay, he called you a bigot, and he said that the Christian thing to do would be to go in, buy a pastry for someone who's homeless, and he also
wish them a Merry Christmas.
And wish them a Merry Christmas. He said that. I will tell you that's the condensed version. But
so
respond to that.
Okay. So if I had my opportunity, I would go and buy every homeless person a ticket for Star Wars: The FOrce Awakens, and I would get them a cup.
Well, this guy, I mean, I'm not telling anybody to Google him, but if you did, you'd see he carries a machine gun on one of his videos and calls for an armed revolution against gay people. So there's a little bit of...
Basically, he says he's saying that you are anti-gay, and because of that, you're a bigot. But also, Joshua, I also think, because you can't hear Pete, I want to ask you a question since you can't hear me.
Well, first of all, no, it wasn't a gun. It was a snake. It wasn't no gun. It was
Okay.
a snake.
All right.
It was
Pete,
a damn snake.
No offense on that. But I want to
none taken.
I want to ask you about this, Joshua, because one of the things I know this point that you're making, but I would wonder when you look at these cups in Starbucks. And you have Starbucks saying, what we want is for it to be kind of this blank canvas for people to do whatever they wish with it. But, there's also some Christmas-themed products that are in the store. I think we actually have some photos of them that we pulled up from online. Does that sort of poke a hole in your theory that they are anti-Christmas? Or here we have coffee, the Christmas. So what do you think about that?
Uh-huh. Well, they ain't got... Well, first of all, they ain't got Star Wars on that coffee blend. It needs to say Star Wars coffee blend. Now, second of all, I'm about sick and tired of it not being on there.
Now, if they were really anti-Christmas, wouldn't they be sort of anti-Christmas across the board?
Stop cutting me off. Listen, bitch, I'm going to tell you right now that Star Wars could put mazes on there that leads me to Jabba the Hutt or Luke Skywalker, because we ain't seen Luke Skywalker much in the trailers or nothing. So give me a maze on my cup that will let me doodle while I'm sitting at my desk, and I could doodle all the way to find in between them lines, and I could find out where Luke Skywalker was. Now, it's trending. Star Wars The Force Awakens has been on everything. It's been on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram. And I mean, it even blew up MySpace, and MySpace has been shut down forever. Now, it is time to just love Star Wars The Force Awakens. It's coming out around Christmas time.
There it is.
Why you're running
there
this
it
Christmas
is.
stuff
There,
into the
that's what
ground.
I'm talking about, Brianna. He doesn't even have to hear me.
Okay,
there it is.
What you talking about,
We
Obama
invited
being
him on, and there it
He ain't
is.
even got Star Wars
Obama
tickets.
pretend to be a Christian. Good luck there, buddy.
Okay,
Good luck.
What?
I do have.
He's got a Chaz Bono impersonating.
I didn't
Sorry.
say he pretended
Okay,
to be a Christian.
hold on just
I
a
said he
moment
didn't
because
have-
we're having audio issues. I'm going to button this up before we go.
I said
I
he
do have to
didn't
have-
fact check you, Joshua,
He don't
because
have Star
the
Wars.
president is a Christian.
Oh.
But
Cut me off. Cut me off.
I will tell you, I know that you've touched a nerve, and we certainly
I
appreciate
didn't say what.
you being on. I'm sorry
did-
about the audio problems. I wish we could have a
I
wider
did-
discussion here, but I'm going to leave it there. Pete, Joshua, thank you guys so much for coming on.
All I said is he didn't have Force Awakens tickets. I'm just